This one's kind of an interesting pattern. It's easy to do, it looks good. So I'm tying it on this is a Dairiki 125, which is the same as a Tiemco 2488. This is a 14. Now it's tied with wood duck, and I think I said flank in there. These are probably breast feathers, but you can these feathers now are like 50 cents a piece. It's kind of crazy. I've got a lifetime supply, but you can use dyed mallard. It'll work just as good. You can do it. This is they call lemon wood duck. It's kind of a goldy color, but you can tie. All these scuds come in tan. They're in olive. You know, you can use olive dyed mallard. Would work fine. Now this pattern calls for this fluorescent orange thread. You can use olive, whatever you want. I think it's kind of like the Czech nymph guys use a hot spot on their flies. It's the same kind of thing. It looks kind of cool. So I've got my hook in the vise, and you can see I've kind of got it turned down. That's because I'm going to tie this thread on way here on the end. It just makes it easier to tie this material in. And I'm going to take this wood duck, and I'm going to take about 20 fibers probably. Bunch, something like that. And you want to try to keep the tips pretty much aligned, and then just tear it off the stem. And I like to just trim the ends off, that way it kind of stays. I'm going to kind of bunch them up, and I'm just going to stick it out about half a shank length, maybe sticking out the back. I'm going to tie them down.
No, they tied around the bend, George?
Yeah, it's down the bend.
Down the bend?
And then about here I'm going to reattach my hook, straighten it out. So I'm going to bind these down almost to the eye, within about an eye's length of the eye. And I'm going to bring my thread back to about the hook point. So I'm going to take some gold wire, find the end of it. I got my diagonals. Yeah, that's right. I won't have to call 911. So now you can either counter wrap this wire, or you can wind it the same direction. Doesn't matter either way. So usually when I counter wrap stuff, I stick the wire in on the back side. If I'm going to wrap it the way I'm wrapping my thread, I usually just tie it in on the front side. So, but in this case, it doesn't really matter.
All the way back to the
I'm
tail.
going to go right to where I started my thread. And now what I'm going to use for the dubbing, this is a regular mix. It's called South Scud dubbing. It's kind of a gray olive, but you could anything kind of synthetic that's kind of spiky. You want something that's kind of long and gonna fuzz out real good. That's what I didn't do. I'm gonna get my. So I want to make my dubbing so it's kind of fatter in the middle and kind of taper on both ends. Then it doesn't take a whole lot. You can see how kind of long and spiky that stuff is. Usually when I do this on a dubbing like this, I'll just get it on the thread, and then I'll slide it up. If you make one turn, it kind of locks it in. Then you can, if you go to the very back of the dubbing, it'll twist it all and get it on your thread. And you don't have to be real tight with it, because you want to be able to rag it out when I get done. If a little bit of that thread shows through, that's okay. Okay. And I'm going to end my thread up here at the front of the wood duck. So at this point, I'm just going to take these fibers, bundle them all up, pull them over the top,
Sure.
Yep. I'm gonna get it started. I'm gonna make maybe 4 or 5 wraps of wire. Trying to keep that wood duck on the top. I'm gonna tie my wire off at the front. Make a little bit of a head and then just whip it off. And you want to pull this up, and I'm going to cut this off, and I want to make sure I don't cut my tail out. Yeah. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of a nub on there. I'm not going to cut it off real tight to the wire there. At this point, actually, kind of a cool trick. I use Velcro for like a dummy brush, but sometimes I'm not sure you can't get it in here. What you can do is just cut a strip of Velcro and don't stick it on anything, and then you can stick it underneath there and kind of saw it back and forth on a small fly, and it really rags it out pretty good.
Like you have to be careful not to catch the wood duck.
Yeah, that's why you want to stay on the bottom there. And you can always pick it out with a dubbing needle too. Kind of trim it off. And that could be ragged out more, but I'm not going to mess with it. And then at this point, you can either use hard as nails to do the back of it, or you can use this UV cure glue, which works pretty cool. And you just
What's the neat applicator? Which one's that?
it's called Bondic. It's actually a UV glue, and it's not tacky. Like some of those get tacky.
Yeah, oh yeah, mine does.
No, this doesn't. This dries.
I have to put hard as nails on top of it.
Yeah, no, and then this has its own light.
Yep. What's the name of that?
Bondic.
If you want another UV one that is not as tack-free, it's Deer Creek. Deer Creek is the other tack-free.
There's
the
a
applicator is important as attack-free. I like that.
there's another one. There's another one like this. You can go on Amazon. There's 2 or 3 brands like this, but this one works really good.
But that Deer Creek has a long, pointy,
Yeah, hypodermic type.
right,
Yeah.
which is attached to the bottle with a cap on it.
This stuff is really good for small stuff like that. You know, you got the big syringe thing, and they're harder to.
Yeah.
On a small fly, it's kind of hard to modulate. This thing works good. So that's it. The thing works.